Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast, presents episode 854, Seasons Threetings, recorded live on March 9th, 2023. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Duststorm.
And I'm your other co-host, Godzilla T.
Season 3 is here! Intro soundboard effect. And I don't know how much you've gotten to play of it, GT, but I've gotten my fair share of Arena, and I got one gameplay on BTB, so we'll talk about it a little bit.
I've got a couple of games.
Very good.
I played the new playlist because, of course, all the challenges are in the new playlist because we wouldn't want to be able to just do that wherever.
Right.
Like somebody stated, what about 3 months ago?
Well, needless to say, I think it's lots of good stuff in here that we'll talk about. But as we've got normally for our opening of the podcast, we have our community recap to go through. So, how's it hopping back into Infinite last week, GT?
Nobody dropped a air vehicle on me. That was good.
That's good.
That was a plus. No, we had a lot of fun. We came up, with some pretty hard games, but we had a lot of fun.
Good.
We jumped into BTB pretty quickly. We did play a little bit of Fiesta to begin with, and but yeah, we spent most of the night in BTB.
Nice. Getting some warm up for when we get back into BTB full swing. I don't know if we'll have a lot more people out tomorrow with the new maps and everything, but
we'll find out.
If we can get a full squad, that'd be pretty cool. Oasis is pretty fun, I'll have to say.
I've only played one of the 4v4 maps, the boarding action like one. What was that one?
Chasm,
yes. And it's different. It takes a little getting used to moving around. Of course, being new to the map, I didn't know where anything was. The Bandit is an interesting weapon. It is a DMR. It does not feel like the Reach DMR.
No. Or the Halo 5 one.
No. It's got a lot more thud to it when you fire it. It
sounds nice.
Actually, yeah, it was quite surprising. I need some more experience with it because, man, I suck with it. That's for sure.
I'm actually decent with it. For the time I've had my hands on with it, both in flights and over the past week, like the rate of fire that you have with it is slow enough where I can compensate firing and aiming versus kind of just like spray and pray with something like the AR or the Sentinel Beam.
Commando.
Or the Commando. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have a lot more control over the Bandit, which makes it a lot more nicer to play with, at least for me.
Well, considering I've only picked it up 4 times, it takes a little longer than that for me.
Yes, to develop. Yes, it will take a little bit to get used to, but I think I've heard people mostly say good things about it, so I think it's been a good addition, and people are really looking forward to using that weapon.
I am. I'm looking forward to getting to use it more. I kind of hope that they, in BTB, they put it in the rotation for the other maps, not just the new one. I think they've included. Yeah, no, they've included the weapon and the equipment in all the existing maps. Because I remember playing on Arena, and it was definitely there. Well, I'm talking BTB,
and I played on launch site, and there was definitely the shroud screen. I didn't pick up didn't see a Bandit in my game that I played earlier today, but there was a shroud screen. So they did put the stuff into the existing maps.
Yeah, that I have no experience with it, so I'm still jury's out on that one.
I mean, they both play to certain gameplay styles,
Mm-hmm.
and I think overall it works pretty well. That's just my initial experience with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we play throughout game nights and throughout the next few weeks, give us your opinions, folks. Drop it in the Discord. Let us know on social media, and we will definitely talk about it.
Yeah, we'd like to know what you think of it.
Also, with the new maps and new modes and everything, drop us your clips in the Discord. We've got a whole fancy channel just for clips and all that good stuff from the community. So if you got something cool that comes up during our Fraggin' Friday game night or whenever you're playing on your own with friends or whatever, drop a link to clips. We'd love to see them because it's a little lonely in there. I think the last thing that was in there was Confow posted something, and then I didn't even post
everybody else away.
I didn't even post the clip of him splattering me with a wasp, but
see,
we just talked about that. But yes, go put your clips in to the Discord. We would love to watch them and react to them. So please do that. And join us tomorrow for Fraggin' Friday. We'll be hopping into Arena at the start. If the lobby is small enough, maybe do a couple of small lobbies to start with so we can try out the new Arena stuff. And then we'll go into Big Team and try to get some Oasis games.
Maybe we can match against each other and somebody will get embarrassed. Namely me, because I'll be the one streaming.
We'll probably match up against Accelerate or Ubernick or one of the other streamers that are probably going to be streaming straight for the next 7 days because of the new stuff coming
Probably.
out. Yeah.
If we max Accelerate, I'm just going to jump off the map.
I mean, we did have the one game where we beat them.
If I match against Accelerate,
well,
I'm just jumping off the map.
He only runs in BTB, so if we're going in Arena, we should be fine. Or I don't think I've seen a clip of him playing Arena. It's been pretty much BTB as far as what I've seen him stream.
I know Ubernick gets in there once in a while.
He does. He's in BTB right now. He's been streaming a lot recently for obvious reasons. So he's streaming right now.
Well, considering that's how he makes money, it's probably a good idea that he does that.
Yep.
Time to time.
And now that he's moved in with Oath, it's interesting to see like both of their streams up because you see where like the back wall is the same for the two of them. So one's on one side of the room and one's on the other. So it's pretty cool.
They have to, do split backgrounds.
Right. It's the couples. The couples who stream together stay together. I don't know if
Hey,
that's true, but
if they're having fun with it, it's great. I'm glad that he found somebody that shares the same passions as he does.
Yeah. So it's cool. All right, so let's move on to some of the Season 3 stuff. What do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk maps first? Do you want to talk equipment first? Do you want to talk the new story stuff? Where do you want to kick this off, GT?
Well, so far the story's got me confused.
Okay. Maybe we save that one for a little bit later.
I really haven't had a lot of experience with the maps. The one, like I said, I've only played the one map. I'm actually impressed with the map. It seems like a very good quality map. It works with Infinite's movement very well. The funny thing is the games I played, everybody was ignoring the sniper. I got the sniper like 5 times in a single game.
Sniper's pretty effective on that map. That's interesting.
I never get the snipers. Well, unless I sneak up and steal the other teams. Sure. And then I give it to Bobby. Or Spag. Or Keys.
I give it to Bobby or Keys, yeah.
Because I know I ain't with it.
I get lucky once in the blue moon with it.
I do too. Funny thing is, me and Bobby hovering over the enemy base, both in wasps, and he goes on a rampage, and I think I got a spree.
He's young blood. He's got that young Twitch reaction that neither you or I have anymore.
There's no Twitch with a wasp. It's not like he's doing 360 no scopes.
How do you know?
Mainly because I was watching him.
Yeah.
But I guess I did a good job of just driving everybody towards him.
That works.
I was the sheepdog. Yeah, it's
There
just
you go.
driving the sheep around the building to him.
And I helped.
And I helped.
So I played Chasm quite a bit.
Yeah.
It came up the most in the featured playlist, which is what I went into to at least try out the new maps. I like the layout of it. There's some spots where I fell into the chasm because the clamber didn't trigger. So I would be like mashing A and the clamber didn't present because some of the hexagons are just at a certain angle where the clamber doesn't trigger. So that was frustrating. But other than that, yeah, the map plays very well to the infinite sandbox and the equipment. And I had a CTF match on there to begin with, actually, which was interesting. I think I had CTF, a couple of escalation slayers, and a regular slayer. Keys also joined me on a few games as well, so that was fun. And then we did play Cliffhanger a couple times. I'm iffy on Cliffhanger. The map overall is cool. The layout, the design, it's a cool map. As far as the gameplay, we played a escalation slayer game, which was fine with the map, and then we also played a strongholds game, and the places where the strongholds is just weird with the map layout.
Not defensible or too open or
It
just weird in movement or path or
it's weird in layout and how certain parts of it are more open to others and different movements to get to certain parts. So you haven't played the map yet, so some of this isn't going to quite make sense, but where the two zones are for there's two zones basically on one side of the map, and then the other side has another zone, and the only way to get there is two walkways or a lift that goes directly from one point to that point. So depending on how you control spawns or have control power weapons or that way you can spawn trap a team pretty easily and just dominate a map. So it's very like if you have a good coordinated team that's skillful, it's a very easy map to dominate on. So for something like that, it was kind of I think it's going to be more of a Slayer map will be a strong suit for it, and single objective like an oddball or something like that. I don't think, and maybe King of the Hill. I don't think Strongholds or CTF is going to be a strong contender for that map, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's kind of been the thing with pretty much all Halo maps. There's always that one game type that just doesn't work that well. I mean, it works, it's playable, but it's kind of meh.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain game modes like on Haven that just didn't feel good. Don't get me wrong, Haven's probably one of the most universal maps out there.
I was going to say, I think Haven, I mean, almost most game modes, I would say there's probably
like I said, most game modes played awesome.
Like Dominion, yeah, that doesn't quite make sense.
Yeah, there are some game modes that played worse than others.
Sure.
Where it just threw off the balance of the map.
Sure.
You know, like you're talking, with good map control, you could dominate the game type. But the map I played, you were talking about the clamber. Luckily, I've only fallen off a couple of times for that very same reason. I thought I would be able to clamber, and it didn't activate. But actually, most of the time, it was because I was jumping off the map, so they didn't get the sniper rifle.
That's
well, I was dying off the map. Let's put it that way.
It's like
I placed myself somewhere. If I did lose, they would not get the sniper rifle.
There's strategy in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I played.
Like, I'm dying anyway, so might as well take this with me.
Yeah. Why leave it for them?
Exactly.
But I actually jumped my first match. I jumped in mid-match. Thanks. And it was capture the flag. My team had 1. The other team had 2. We did wind up actually winning the match. So that was great. I ran the flag in once, and then one of my other teammates got the 3rd flag. And we were able to keep them from taking ours, so that worked out.
CTF on that map was fun, and that was
Yeah, actually, it is a little interesting to move around, but
yes,
just where they put the capture points,
it's unique enough where.
Yeah.
And I feel like for CTF, you actually used more of the map, where Escalation Slayer, it's you spawned.
And everybody runs to the middle.
Yeah. But for CTF, I thought it played really well. I am curious how it would play for King of the Hill. And I don't know if they would do a Strongholds. Maybe you could, like maybe have one in the middle and two on either side of the chasm, kind of in the hallway type thing.
Yeah,
but
you would definitely want to set the stronghold off to one side on either side. That way you don't have direct line of sight to the center to balance it out a little bit. And you need to make sure that the opposing team has a second path to get to the other side.
Yeah. I think Oddball would be interesting on that map.
Oddball's interesting on any map.
That's true.
Especially when there's places that players can jump off, because that's all they seem to do.
Yeah. So I know you haven't played Oasis yet, but the layout of it's actually pretty nice. So there's two bases more or less opposing from each other.
I mean, I've seen the fly through of the map, so.
Well, the fly through I don't think really portrays the layout of the map very well. It gives you certain features and it highlights the different pieces of the map really well, but when I watched it, it didn't really give that layout where things are in relation to each other on the map. So if you imagine bases on either side of each other, one side is the open area, so where you saw the 400 structures and the little kind of green oasis place. That's one side of the map, and there's rock structures. And then there's a UNSC facility on the other side, so that's where the interior stuff is. So it's interesting how it's broken out with the very open area. Most of the obstruction is either the base buildings or rock structures in and around the area. And then the inside is almost like a cave system that's been excavated and built into a UNSC facility type thing. And that actually plays very interesting for the one mode that I play on it so far, which is Total Control. So the first set of points was right down the middle, and there's a middle. The middle point is kind of well fortified with the building on one side, two very tall rock structures and other little bases there. And then there was two other points that were close to home base. And then the other ones were either on the open side, and one of the open sides has a wasp spawn, and that's where one of the points are. And then two other points, and then the other side was on the inside part. So the way that's laid out is actually makes for some interesting gameplay. And I'm curious to see how it plays for other game modes, because I could see CTF working really well in it. You have multiple paths to take the flag. That could be very defensible, but also gives options for offensive plays. If you know someone's going a certain pathway, there are multiple ways to cut them off, type of thing. And for Total Control, I thought it felt very good. I could see Stockpile actually being a little bit more balanced in this map just because of how it's laid out.
Depending on where the spawns are.
Just kind of assuming it off of where the middle points were for Total Control. There's enough geometry and architecture there where, I mean, you still, if you get a repulsor and repulse it, you can run it, but that's going to be any map. But there's enough, I think, there where you can still get a good setup going if you're coordinated enough, but it also gives the other team a chance to put up a good fight as well. It's not quite as open as like it's not high ground, high power. It's not as closed off as Fragmentation, so I feel like it's a good balance between the two.
Yeah, I look forward to looking at the vehicle play on it. I really would like. I hope that it does a better job for vehicle play than in the current big team maps do.
That one's going to be tricky. I didn't see a tank on it. The smaller vehicles like the Ghost and Warthog, those were fine. People were using them in the Total Control match. The Wasp was up, and I don't remember it being alive for that long. So either people were
Well, it
paying
could just
attention
have
to
a
it,
crappy pilot too. I mean,
but no heavy vehicles spawn, no tanks, no wraiths, and it seemed like there were kind of two lanes. Like you go down either the open side lane or the closed side lane under, like inside the facility and underneath the rock structure. But just from the layout, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of middle ground maneuverability. But yeah, we'll see. It's interesting how maps are made for Infinite because you have to account for the movement mechanics of Infinite. And I feel like there's a lot more emphasis on, hey, let's provide runway and cover for the foot soldiers to actually kind of give them a little bit more bounce from vehicles. Where past Halo games have been a lot more, hey, this is big team battle. It's open field. There's vehicles everywhere. If you're not in a vehicle, you're getting destroyed. I feel like the only map that really did that well was Standoff so far, and Avalanche a little bit.
yeah, both of those did pretty good. A couple of Halo 4 maps did it pretty well, as pretty good as well. The what was it?
The Ice Fields remake one?
No, the one with the crashed UNSC ship. Oh, right in the middle. There's
begins with
basically
the E.
a big donut.
Begins with the E. Exodus.
Yes, Exodus. That one did pretty good for allowing relatively open area for vehicles, but there was still enough nooks and crannies for foot soldiers to flank those vehicles.
That's true.
Especially if you had an attentive driver.
That's a good point.
But if you had somebody that was really good with a vehicle, like a tank or a wraith, it could be pretty overpowered. But honestly, I didn't really have that many issues with it. I was lucky, and I actually had teammates that would help defend the tank because everybody had a plasma pistol in their pocket.
Yeah. So
I had teammates that would help defend the tank. And matter of fact, I went on a rampage in a wraith once, or something like that.
Nice. That's impressive.
Yeah, I was in that bottom left-hand corner next to I guess, depending on where you spawn. I think it was the left side of red spawn. I think that's what it was. Because blue spawned high, red spawned below, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But kind of that open area.
I know what you're talking about.
If anybody wants to look, fire up Halo 4 and go look. Anyway, I just kind of hung around there, and I did get stunned, and I did take a lot of fire, but my teammates did a good job of keeping me alive. And that allowed me to get a nice string going. So.
Very nice.
So there are you can have it both ways. So far, Infinite of the maps I played have really leaned, to my opinion, too far to the foot soldier. I'm not saying it's an extremely bad thing, but it does make it kind of less rewarding
for good vehicle play.
Be the guy that gets the tank.
Yeah.
Especially with today's multiplayer where nobody talks to anybody.
Yeah.
It's pretty much every game that I've played, every game that I play in Halo, when I play PvP, it seems like there's fewer and fewer people that are actually interested in team play. They just kind of go do their own thing. Me, I'll usually try to follow a group and be supportive of that group, but we get 15 steps into the run, and then all of a sudden they just split. It's like, the frick? It's like, the team mechanic of it seems to not be there.
Yeah. That's just kind of how Xbox. Well, it's not even Xbox, just kind of gaming.
Well, it's evolved. Not a fault, honestly. I don't believe it's a fault of the game or the game developers or the live service. It's just the people playing the game.
Yeah. It's just how the game and like gaming as a culture has kind of evolved.
A lot of it has to do with the toxicity that can be in there. It's not always there. So a lot of people just opt out of listening to it. I'm
that
one of
early
them.
days of gaming online for consoles, because honestly, there was gaming online for PC for a long time before
Yeah, there
consoles
was.
had it. But that online gaming experience for PlayStation and Xbox was really that Goldilocks zone of, hey, you can hop into a lobby with pretty much anybody and meet friends.
Meet
And that
people.
was kind of the social media presence for gamers was consoles, because you had Facebook just starting out and there wasn't really a lot of that social media interaction. So to find someone that you could talk to that your shared interest was playing a video game, yeah, that was a big deal. That's how where I am today with Podtacular, is hopping into those game lobbies with random people, and how I know half the people I know today from the gaming world. And it's like that's how you meet people.
Yeah, it was
Or
the
that's how
same for
you used
me.
to.
Pretty much. I mean, everybody on my list, on my friends list, I've met through playing mostly Halo.
There's like that 7-year time span of, okay, you find friends by playing with random people on the internet, which was you don't do that growing up, but that was the way that we connected with people across the world. And
Well, I mean, I was 30 years old, and I'm meeting these people and getting to be friends with them. And some of them are half my age, or less than half my age. You know, the one dude I'm a friend with, I met him when he was freaking 12. But the deal is I guess what I'm saying is the community's changed, and it, unfortunately, the social media attitude has crept into video games. The
it's the
anonymity of
click. And
the anonymity of the gamer tag has unfortunately brought a bad element into gaming. And it's not widespread, but it's there enough that a lot of people just opt out of listening to it.
yeah, it
Anyway,
sucks.
back to season 3.
Yes.
Um,
So those are the maps. We'll probably do a little other refresher once you've had a chance to play with them GT a little bit.
I'm sure I'll get plenty of experience tomorrow night.
Yes. Have you? I'm guessing you haven't really had a much chance with the Bandit, or well, you talked about the Bandit a little bit, but the Shroud screen.
I haven't picked up the Shroud screen at all, and honestly, I don't even know how I would use it. So that's going to be interesting.
I haven't quite figured out when a good time to use it is. Escalation Slayer, it plays very different with. You only get it at the very end with the oddball, so there's kind of a very strategic purpose for that. But in normal gameplay, I haven't really discovered its usefulness for me yet.
Well, you know, one usefulness is entrapment.
Yes.
Or to purposely hide what you're doing behind it. Like blocking the visibility of the spawn of a vehicle. Or blocking a doorway to lay a trap for the next person that walks through it. Whoever's, smart enough to walk through the smoke screen.
Right.
So, I mean, I can see uses for it. I just don't know how useful it is for me.
Same for me. The other couple things, not quite related, but Forge has had quite a few updates to it. All the dev-made maps are now forgeable, which I guess wasn't a thing before, which I wasn't tracking. Granted, I haven't really gone into Forge that much, but the dev-made maps are now, you can edit them in Forge, which is nice.
That's good.
Yeah. I thought that would have been something that out the gate, but I guess not.
Well, it is a Forge beta.
Yes, it is. Yes. Hey, Hayden, with the raid of 9. Thank you. Hope your
Thanks
stream
for the
went
raid,
well.
Hayden.
Welcome, Raiders. Welcome to our Season 3 discussion. We just talked about the equipment and the maps, and now we're talking about some of the other stuff, talking about Forge and some of the cool updates that we're getting with the Season 3 drop. So, like we just said, you can now edit dev-made maps and make custom maps off of those. There's also a new armor coating. Is it coating or is it just coating and visor? That's what it is. Is the Master Builder armor coating and visor. So if you get a map that you've made in Forge into the community collection playlist, then you will be awarded the Master Builder coating and visor, which is pretty cool. Nice to see that they're kind of keeping that trend going.
I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to get it because I'm not going to make a map.
I'm not either, but
nothing to that quality for sure.
It's a nice little homage to folks that have the talent and put the time and effort in to make the maps. Yeah, of course.
To reward the community for building something that you're willing to put in the in the matchmaking rotation. Because that it really does speak to the quality of the forger.
It really does.
Or forgers, however the map's built.
Yep. We've also got a few balance updates for the weapons. The Commando now requires 9 bullets to kill instead of 8, so the damage per bullet has been reduced from 20 to 17.5. The Plasma Pistol has been nerfed quite a bit.
Yeah, it kind of aggressively tracked.
Yeah. So the tracking has been reduced. The charge time has been increased from 1 second to 1.6 seconds. Apparently the issue was people would be running away sprinting and you could charge the plasma pistol while you're sprinting and then 180, release it and pistol shot it for a noob combo. And apparently people were able to get that noob combo off. So if they were at a disadvantage of someone getting the upper hand on them and starting shooting at them, they could actually reverse that kill pretty easily. I mean, I couldn't, but I guess all the pros
I couldn't either.
Yeah.
Amazingly enough, I didn't actually get killed by the noob combo that much.
I haven't seen the plasma pistol noob I haven't seen the plasma pistol noob combo nearly as much in Infinite as I've seen in past games, and I think that's part in due to how there's the shock damage type now that's separated out from the plasma shock, the plasma damage type, whereas the plasma overcharge to you was it dropped your shields, and I don't know if it's quite that.
It does. You can still do the noob combo, and that's what they're talking about. It's not effective
on vehicles anymore, though.
It is not effective on vehicles anymore, but they did add shock weapons that took that role.
Yes.
Which, fair enough.
Yep.
But like I said, I really never really had a problem, even after they buffed the plasma pistol a little bit ago. I never really had a problem with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I never felt that it was really that overpowered. Of course, I could just be, the only real thing I saw with it is the aggressive tracking that it had. I thought that was overdone. I
mean, I haven't used it that much to really know if it was aggressive or not. So,
well, all I can speak from is how aggressively it actually attracted me. Fair. I mean, it would bend some corners hard.
Fair enough. The weapons have also been changed a little bit as far as for power weapons, how much ammo they drop in ranked arena, and also different timers on that. Some of that was actually rolled out back in February. Some of it's being rolled out in Season 3. There's going to be fewer rounds of ammo in the Bulldog, the Heatwave, Shock Rifle, and Stalker Rifle, addressing some community feedback. The Mangler, Energy Sword, and Pulse Carbine have been all removed from ranked arena, and the Disruptor and Spike Grenades are looking to see some future tuning as well.
Grenades, definitely.
Fair enough. On the network and desyncing stuff, there's been several improvements to that, and it sounds like there's still a lot of stuff going on, because that's probably the number one complaint I've seen so far in Season 3 is a lot of the desync issues still persisting, which is going to take a long time to solve. That's not an easy engineering challenge to address. But a lot of rubber banding is a lot less likely to occur, a lot less desync when players use the repulsor. against vehicles, and then melee attacks are now more likely to register while holding a power seed. Campaign network co-op, less rubber banding when someone's using an unlocked frame rate on PC. Players are less likely to fall through the floor on the gondola in the mission conservatory.
That's important.
Yes. Stuttering and teleporting are less likely to occur now after taking the teleporter to the elevator room on Spire. And rubber banding and teleporting is less likely to occur in the Pelican at the end of the mission Outpost Tremonius.
Although I have seen some funny clips of that.
I haven't yet, but that'd be funny to watch.
It's interesting.
I can imagine. You want to talk Battle Pass next, or do you want to actually touch on the narrative storyline? Those are kind of the last two big things that we have in the season 3 stuff.
We can touch on the story.
Okay. So I did appreciate how there was a recap of the last 2 seasons.
And that does help.
It did solidify. This was a while ago. I think we had this discussion on the podcast, but the Halo Spartan. What's her name? I forget how to say her name.
Me too.
Spartan A described how the Infinity and the Ring were both missing, so that kind of goes right along with what you were saying, that subspace but if the Ring is there and Infinity's not, then where the heck is the Infinity?
Exactly.
So wherever the Infinity and the Ring and the whole Banish thing were, so the Ring obviously went somewhere, the Infinity went somewhere else, so we have no idea where the Infinity is, if it even still is out there. And
I think the Infinity is where it was. I think it's just the Ring that went somewhere else, and it drugged the Banished fleet with it, or part of the Banished fleet.
Well, she said that they don't know where the Infinity or the Halo Ring were. So to me, that means that...
Well, yeah, they didn't know where the battle took place to begin with.
Well, she said, and the Ring. And we know the battle took place above the Ring, so...
Yeah, but if they didn't know where the Ring was when the battle took place, then they don't know where either is. Anyway.
It made it seem like that they knew where the Ring was, and...
Maybe they do. But if the Infinity has been hit as hard as they've made it out to be, then it could be in a position where it's not detectable.
Maybe. I just know the opening cutscene, we saw the Ring, we saw the battle over the Ring with the Infinity and the Banished stuff. So I guess the Halo Ring is not where that cutscene is. So there's point number 1. Point number 2 is the Infinity either slipped with the Ring and then went somewhere else, or didn't slip with the Ring after the whole battle thing. Like, some of the Banished stuff had to have gone with the Ring, because or else we wouldn't be finding the Banished in the campaign. So lots of questions there. We also got the continuation of Spartan Din and Iritus. Got a little invasion of memories.
He's getting friggin' irritating.
I like the personality, the persona that they've given Iritus. It's like, okay, you get some of that brute snark and boisterousness, but you definitely get a different personality it's not distinctly brute. Like, obviously there's brute influence, but it's got an agenda. It's got its own...
It's after something.
Yeah. So, interesting to see drones.
Yeah.
Used in that memory sequence. It got a lot of folks excited. It got Hidden Xperia excited.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it doesn't take much.
Well, it doesn't take much for lore folks to be like, oh, there's something new to talk about.
I like the inclusion of the drones. That was kind of nice. It's always nice when they bring in another
part of the Covenant,
another part of Halo, and you acknowledging that, yes, these did exist. And I think they did a really good job on them.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see if maybe we have to fight some drones in the future if things change once they get Infinite under control.
I wouldn't take too much off of seeing drones in there. Either. I think it just plays well into the story.
I hope But
Yeah.
I'm definitely not holding my breath on it.
Yeah. I think it played well for the cutscene that
Mm-hmm.
for the story that it needed to tell. I thought the cutscene was executed really well. It also plays into, like you said at the beginning, it doesn't really give us a lot of depth. It does kind of help push the story along, which is nice. We get to see a little bit more of what happened inside the Din's head during the whole, I guess, throughout season 2 of like when Iritus was basically incapacitating Din.
Mm-hmm.
And that final grenade explosion of showing the Oni symbol on training grounds.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't actually been on that map to see if they've updated that map to show that. That would be cool.
You
And
have to keep an eye out for that.
I'll make this reference just because I've been playing Fortnite as my casual game. Like Fortnite, they change areas of the map throughout the season to correspond with events that's going on. So to like one of their latest events, there were 3 certain points where they built out additional underground areas on parts of the map that were closed off before. So it's just adding little changes to the maps.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if they would do something where it's like, okay, once this, like, okay, they showed there's the Oni symbol now on this door. Go in and make that change in the map. And it's like, okay, this is actually taking place throughout the actual multiplayer experience because it's supposed to be simulation of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'd be cool.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we've had a kind of an reactive change in a Halo map. Granted, there's usually due to a holiday or some significant event, but it still changes.
Salt Life in the chat saying, yeah, they actually showed it in game. So they updated the map actually. Like if you go in the multiplayer, that Oni mark is actually there now. And yeah, I saw where you could clip through the door, and it's basically like there's nothing behind it. It's just the behind texture width you would normally go into editing. It's like, okay, you can see through it. There's actually nothing there.
Yeah.
But on that door that's in the bottom mid, okay, so interesting. I like that attention to detail. I really do. And I haven't gone back to the weapon drills. But I'm guessing if they did that to training grounds, they probably updated the weapon drills to be that nighttime. Because before it was daytime. And in the cinematic for the season, where you see Din and Eklund together after he kind of wakes up from his AI coma, so to speak, it's nighttime. And that's where you get the bandit. So that's narratively where the bandit comes into play. So I think that's I'm guessing that's probably happened too. So that's cool. I like bravo for paying attention to that detail 343. That's actually very good on you to actually incorporate the narrative into more than just like, okay, here's a new map. Like you're actually changing the map to go along with the narrative. That's pretty neat. So anything else we want to touch on story wise? I mean, like you said, there's not a lot to go on. Yep. So there's Mindfall, which is the current event that's supposed to be kind of the lead in. There's going to be another one at the very end of the event that's going to kind of continue off for the season 3 story and put the stopper on that going into the next season. That's going to be in May. That'll be interesting to see. And then we've got the Battle Pass to talk about. A new premium 100 tier Battle Pass with 800 or 187 individual rewards. Again, going off of what they did last time, you can get 1,000 credits in the Battle Pass. So if you don't buy anything from the store and you just play through the Battle Pass, you'll have enough credits to get the next season Battle Pass when season 4 comes around.
Mm-hmm. Which is what I did.
Yep, same. There are several freebies as well. If you go through and just log into Halo Infinite, there is a new set of recruit style armors. They're very basic, but they look very clean. It's the Steel Series armor coatings. There's red, green, and blue. You can get, and they apply to all armor cores. If you get the premium battle pass, you automatically unlock the red steel splinter armor coating available for all armor cores. So they're trying to get the all armor core type thing going. They do unfortunately have a armor core specifically for season 3, so I'm sure there's some cross work there. Like they couldn't just full stop what they were doing for season 3, so there's probably going to be a trickle down effect for them to actually get cross core working across the board.
It's kind of important they do, especially if they expect the store to take off, because there's a whole lot of stuff in the store that is core specific. So, if it was available to put on any core, I'm sure they would sell more.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would too. It's all good though. For those that also purchased the Battle Pass, there is the Mirage IIC armor core. So that's one of the armor cores coming in. For those that like the SPI armor from the kind of Onyx related books, the Spartan 3 books, this is the core for you. And then we've also got the Chimera armor core, and that's the second one coming in. This is going to be the theme for the Fracture Firewall event series. That'll be coming out in a few weeks. Firewall debuting on March 21st. There's going to be 4 separate occurrences of Fracture, so you'll have plenty of time to get your complete Fracture Battle Pass thing unlocked. I'm guessing it's going to be the 30 tier again, just like we've had in the past. So having 4 different events is going to be nice to get that unlocked. I think that'll mean 8 weeks. At least that's what it's been in the past. They did not say specifically, though. 4-part story shard series, similar to what we've seen in the past. This one's called Precipice. So we'll get to see that in a couple of weeks. There are several other shop changes that they've made. So there are 4 different things that they've changed to the shop. First is there will be a half-week slot that refreshes every Tuesday and Friday. There will be an overall consistent layout that the shop is going to have. The dailies will actually refresh daily, and there will overall be more offers throughout the season, probably to kind of keep up with, okay, now they're actually trying to keep the seasons to 3 months instead of 3 years. They're also looking to add what are called super bundles, and this is a way to actually get multiple bundles at once. So all the different little packages that you've seen in the store so far, well, now they're going to start bundling those and offering those at a cheaper price for those bundles. The super bundles will only be available weeks 1 and 3, and then after which they will be split apart into separate bundles. So if you want to take advantage of the discounts, you'll have to jump on them early to take advantage of them. And there's some additional armor core, armor coating type stuff. There's a lot of it over on Halo Waypoint, so go check it out. The first ultimate tier is the Purple Rain weapon coating for the Bandit, which I've got through all my regular challenges. I just have my capstone to do, which is just play 5 maps in the featured playlist. So it's just playing 5 matches in there, which is not going to be that hard. And what else do we got? I think that pretty much covers most of the season 3 stuff.
Does sound that way.
Oh,
I don't think we missed anything.
A couple more things on Forge. I forgot this was in one of the other articles that I hadn't gotten to yet. There is, and this is, I think, a cool one for me. Toggleable friendly and enemy outlines set in custom game settings, and friendly player collision in custom games.
Nice.
They brought it back. To me, that's like a core part of Halo. Mm-hmm. And that was a key thing that was going to ruin several different experiences. Like a lot of the spooky
the whole thing
infection
with collision, I don't have a problem with it if the other players would block my shots. I can walk through them, but I can't shoot through them.
Well, in the classic Halo experience, you bump into friendlies, and there's some custom games that is kind of a core piece on how some of these custom games work. So for that to not happen, it's like, okay, you just wiped out a good 5-10% of custom game experiences because there's no player collision. And to your point, yeah, being like, all right, I'm half in a friendly and I can't shoot because like I blow myself up with a rocket because someone just happened to phase through me at that time. It's like,
yeah,
I wish that was never a thing.
Well, yeah, all I'm saying is go all the way one way or all the way the other way. Let's not do this half-baked stuff.
If you're simulating battleground tactics, of course you're going to run into an ally. Like, why was that even taken out in the first place?
I don't have a problem with it if they'd taken it all the way one way or just didn't change anything. It's this half thing that they did that I got a problem with.
Yeah. And then there are new game mode and gameplay objects. So specifically land grab and total control objects that you can use in Forge. And there's also invisible gravity lift and an invisible kinetic launcher object. And this hasn't been posted in any formal blog, but 343 people have talked about this on Twitter and Reddit, but there will be placeable water coming to Forge.
Nice.
Yeah. Forgers are
I know that's been a big ask from the forging community.
Yes. So forgeable water is slated to be coming. Ray tracing is now available in PC for the PC game. It is turned off by default because of the increased amount of GPU power that it needs to function. So you can go and turn that on manually. They're doing the whole play Halo Infinite to unlock access to gear again. So last season it was the jacket. And this season there are pins that you can get. So there's 4 different pins based on your progression through different battle passes. So 3 of them are related to, one is related to the Season 3 Mindfall event pass, which is going on right now. So that's the Shroud Screen pin. There's another one, the M392 Bandit pin. That's going to be for the Sight Unseen event pass. There's the Firewall logo pin, which will be completing the Firewall event pass. And then there's the Season 3 Insignia limited edition pin. And there's an in-game matching emblem to go with it for completing the Season 3 battle pass.
I think that's a lot more attainable to most people.
Yeah.
Because, I wanted a bomber jacket, but I didn't want to spend that much money on it.
No, I did not either.
I mean, I made it through the battle pass, and I got the code for the jacket, but I went and looked at it, and I'm like, I got other places I can spend that money.
Yeah. The items will ship Q3 and Q4 2023, so it's basically pre-order thing. Whenever you actually achieve that, you'll get a notification on Halo Waypoint. You go and you copy the code, and that's how you can actually go and purchase the item. And they also mentioned if you have issues, report bugs. I've already sent in 2 bug reports. So if you come across issues, please put in bug reports. They're taking this very seriously, and it shows too. They've actually, the Halo support Twitter has been going off like crazy the last couple of days because of everything going on.
And please be detailed.
Yes. Be very detailed.
Not it broke.
Right.
That's a good way to get ignored.
I did not actually read through the article from yesterday, but with the Mindfall event launch, they did specify a little bit more on how to get the pins. You have to complete the Mindfall event pass and make the purchase of the pin by April 18th. For the Bandit pin by June 17th, for the Firewall logo pin by July 4th, and for the Season 3 pin by July 4th. So there are limited times where you can actually order these pins, probably because they have to see how many they have to make, and that's hence why it's a pre-order.
So as soon as you unlock the pin, order it if you're going to get it.
If you intend on buying it, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And thank you, Haruspis, for actually putting this together. A guide on how to go and rewatch the cinematics, because it's not in the most obvious spot. You have to go to the battle pass, and then there's a menu option at the bottom that's season intro, and then there you can rewatch the season intro, the recap, and then the first cinematic. So the recap is the one where it recaps the campaign, season 1, season 2. The season 3 intro is Iratus and Spartan Den's head going through his memories And then the cinematic is after Din is woken up and you're there at the weapon drill station. I wonder if you can actually do that. I'm guessing you can do that with the old seasons too, then. If you just switch your battle pass.
I don't know. Have to look.
But that's very helpful because I wanted to go back and watch the cutscenes before talking about them on the podcast tonight. And I was like, how am I going to do that? Luckily enough, there was the article that's like, here's how to do it. So
here's
I
how
watched
you do
all
it.
3 before I came on to the podcast tonight.
Although the recap did a pretty good job of, covering the highlights of the previous season.
And I hope they do that for the rest of the season because I think that's going to be helpful for any newcomers or people that play the beginning, maybe go do something else and then come back.
People that may have skipped season 2.
Yeah. Let's get a couple of community stuff out of the way too. There is a new map that everyone's been raving about that is a remake of Last Resort or Zanzibar or Stone Town, depending on which one version you call it. It's called Kusini Bay. And it's interesting because it actually, so you know how there's like certain parts of Zanzibar that kind of are destroyed or kind of run down a little bit. Well, the person that made this map kind of expands on it a little bit. The creator is called Mr. Quats, and it actually adds enough to it just by looking at the gameplay from Duquesne's video that it fits very well with Infinite Sandbox, and it looks pretty convincing. The only thing I don't think it does is I don't think the wheel spins, which kind of sucks a little bit, but it looks very cool.
Yeah, I saw Duquesne post that video. I have not watched it yet. I've been busy with other stuff. But yeah, the forgers are really cranking some good stuff out.
They really are. Over 1 million forge maps made so far from what we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it is a lot of maps. No doubt. I think there may have been something else, but I don't remember what it was, so we might just call it there.
There's always next week.
There is always next week. Oh, this is something for those that have been longing for Xbox 360 matchmaking for Halo. The Halo Sunrise team has been busy at work. They've got, I believe, Reach matchmaking in early stages of working, and they've also got the whole rank system working again for Halo 3 matchmaking.
Nice.
So Crafty Cody is getting some stuff done. So all those achievements that are locked behind multiplayer might not be locked behind that much longer. Now they can just get that to work for Halo 2 Vista. Oh wait, that would take a lot more.
Anybody really cares about that one?
No. Yeah. So that'll be it for us tonight. GT, you got anything else to add?
Not tonight. Look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow night for Fraggin' Friday. Again, as always, if you'd like to join in, feel free to send me a message on Xbox Live. You can get me at Godzilla with a space, T. We have been using Discord as our voice chat lately. You can access the Discord voice chat through the Xbox Live party system. So feel free to take a look that up on YouTube to see what you have to do to set it up. It's really simple. And you'll find us in the Podtacular Gaming voice chat. And if you're not part of our Discord, join us at podtacular.com/Discord.
And for those in the Twitch chat, !Discord will get you that link as well. And we hope to see you all tomorrow. Let's get a full lobby. Let's get a full big team battle lobby going. Should be fun.
Maybe 2. Then we can match each other.
Ooh.
And then everybody can drop Boss Pong Dust. So Confow won't be so lonely.
Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. We will see you all tomorrow for Fraggin' Friday. Come have some fun with us. We cannot wait to play with you all. Until then, keep on fragging them trucks. Thank you for listening to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. You can find our podcast on your favorite podcasting service and listen to us live every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. Check out our website, podtacular.com, and join the community on Discord at podtacular.com/discord. If you want to play Halo with us, come join us for Fraggin' Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Become a supporter of the show by sharing the show with your friends and family, or help keep the lights on by subscribing to us on Twitch, donating via PayPal, or becoming a patron alongside Confal, Pens Halo, and Prestige Ace. Until next time, keep on fragging trucks.